During this insane AI gold rush, everyone knows the big names, right? We're all talking about NVIDIA. But today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a company you've probably never heard of, the hidden plumber that's making the whole revolution possible. Let's get into it. Because, really, when you boil it all down, the entire AI revolution runs on plumbing. Yeah, you heard me. Not the kind under your sink, but the super high-speed data plumbing that hooks up thousands and thousands of GPUs so they can act like one giant brain. And, believe it or not, that plumbing has a huge problem. And this isn't just some business hiccup or a supply chain issue. No, this is a problem of pure physics, a fundamental law of the universe that was threatening to put the brakes on the entire AI build-out. So to run these gigantic AI models, data centers are upgrading to this new data superhighway. It's called 800G networking. It's double the speed of the last generation, and it's absolutely essential to make things work. But it comes with a massive catch. This is where things get really wild. At these crazy new 800G speeds, the electrical signal inside a normal copper cable, well, it just falls apart. It degrades so quickly that the cable's usable length just plummets, going from around 5 meters all the way down to just 2. And that, right there, creates a giant headache. I mean, what are you supposed to do when the servers you need to connect are, say, 4 or 5 meters apart? Suddenly, you have this giant dead zone. It's too far for the old, cheap copper cables, but it's still way too short to justify using expensive, power-hungry fiber optics. And this is where our hero, Credo Technology, walks onto the scene. They came up with what is basically a magic cable, built for one specific purpose, to conquer that dead zone. And this table just lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you've got your old passive cables that are useless past 2 meters. But on the other, you have Credo's active electrical cables, or AECs. What they do is they embed these tiny little chips right into the cable itself. These chips act like signal boosters. They catch the degrading signal, clean it up, and fire it back down the line, stretching the reach of copper all the way out to 7 meters. Problem solved.
So you might be asking, why are the hyperscalers, the big cloud companies, buying these things by the truckload? Well, for one, they're way cheaper and use a lot less power than fiber optics. But the real game changer is reliability. These things are 1,000 times more reliable. They prevent a catastrophic failure called link flap, which can bring a multi-million-dollar AI training run to a screeching halt. So for these companies, this isn't a luxury, it's an absolute necessity.
So what happens when you solve a fundamental physics problem for the biggest and richest companies on the planet? Well, your finances don't just grow, they explode. Let's take a look at the numbers. Just try to wrap your head around this number for a second. 201.5%. That was Credo's year-over-year revenue growth in a single quarter. That isn't just growth, that's hyper-acceleration. And what did that growth translate into? This, $407 million. Now that's not for a year, that's for a single 3-month period. That's the kind of insane scale we are talking about here. But this timeline, this tells the real story. For years, Credo was burning through cash, losing $46 million in 2023. Then, the AI boom hits. They turn profitable. And then, in just 1 quarter of their fiscal 2026, they generated almost $140 million of free cash in 90 days. And all that cash has allowed them to build what the report calls a fortress balance sheet. They're sitting on $1.3 billion in cash with almost no debt. That's a powerful weapon. It means they can fund whatever they want and lock down manufacturing deals, giving them a huge edge over any competitor. But here's the thing. This isn't just a story about one amazing product. Credo is playing a much bigger game. They're using this momentum to build a whole connectivity empire. Here's their 3-step playbook. Step 1, they completely dominated the copper cable market. Done. Step 2, they're now pushing into the longer-distance optical market. But Step 3 is the truly brilliant part. Become the neutral arms dealer for everyone. See, right now there's a huge battle raging for control over how AI data centers get built in the future. In one corner, you've got NVIDIA with its closed proprietary ecosystem. And in the other corner, you have, well, basically everyone else. AMD, Microsoft, Meta, all teaming up to push for open standards. And this is Credo's checkmate move. Their new chips are designed to be totally agnostic. They don't care about the politics. They work with NVIDIA stuff, and they work with the new open standards. It means that no matter who wins this war, Credo sells the bullets to both sides. Okay, it all sounds incredible, right? But growth this explosive and this fast doesn't happen without some serious risks. And make no mistake, this is a high-wire act with incredibly high stakes. The biggest risk of all is right here on this chart. A whopping 80% of Credo's entire revenue comes from just 2 giant customers. Think about that. If just one of those customers decides to pause spending for even a single quarter, Credo's growth doesn't just slow down, it could hit a brick wall. And that's not all. The stock is trading at a sky-high valuation, which basically means Wall Street expects perfection. There is zero room for error. On top of that, the company has already warned that their profit margins are going to dip a bit. At the end of the day, their fate is completely tied to the whims of a tiny handful of tech titans. So, you add it all up, the mind-blowing growth on one side and these very real, very scary risks on the other. What's the final verdict from the research report we've been digging into? Well, despite everything, the conclusion is bullish. And the reason why comes back to the very beginning of our story. This isn't about hype. This isn't about riding a trend. It's about solving what the report calls a critical, insurmountable physics bottleneck. The laws of physics themselves are creating the demand, making Credo's tech a fundamental necessity. Which leaves us with the billion-dollar question. Has Credo, by mastering physics, become the indispensable foundational plumber for the future of AI? Or is its massive valuation and total reliance on just 2 customers a sign that it's flying way, way too close to the sun? That's what we'll have to wait and see.